Hi, I'm Desiree Hadley,
And I'm Rosa filling in for Mark Diano.
and welcome to Hold the Line with Mayor Baraka. Now today, Mayor, we're going to talk about the Capitol building riots, the COVID-19 vaccines that are being issued, and the stimulus checks.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with the Capitol building riots that happened last week. So last week, a bunch of Trump supporters stormed the Capitol building down in D.C. They broke windows, they broke into offices, and they basically rioted. So now the news is reporting that this may happen in other states up until Inauguration Day. If this were to happen in New Jersey, what do you think should be done about it?
Well, I think that the law enforcement community is preparing themselves for it now. I think that people see the seriousness of it. I don't know why they didn't see it before. They were telling people that they were going to do this, and they did it. And so people are preparing across the state. And if anybody, goes into a federal building or threatens the lives of state legislatures, these are felony offenses. These are not like misdemeanor crimes. And in some instances, they're federal offenses. And these people should be brought to justice. I mean, any other rally or protest, I mean, the police, even in Newark, I mean, if after a rally or protest, maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, the police may arrest somebody for something that they saw them do that day. But this is far more serious, and these people need to be brought to justice.
So as I watched this on TV last week, Mayor, I thought this was something that only happens in other countries, like not here in the U.S. So my question to you is, like, how do we move forward from this? Can we move forward from this?
Well, I don't think it's a matter of just moving forward because this clearly is something that's going on in our country and needs to be addressed. Like, we have to face it. First of all, 70 million Americans voted for Donald Trump. I don't think all 70 million of them agree with the sentiment of the folks that ran into the Capitol. But there's a growing movement of people who, this kind of right-wing, white supremacist, evangelical group of people who the federal government, FBI, the state, Homeland Security has said is the #1 threat to the health and safety of this country. Not foreign terrorists, but domestic white supremacist organizations. And it's proven, it was proven by them going into the Capitol and doing what they're doing. Putting feces on the wall. 5 people died. A police officer died in that process. I mean, this is, if anybody else would have done this, this would have been, the scene would have been completely different out there, definitely.
Moving on to the topic of vaccination. So yesterday you announced that new vaccination sites will be opening across the city. They will be launching in February, similar to our COVID-19 testing sites. Can you elaborate a little more on this? Like, who is going to be able to go to these vaccination sites? Will the vaccines be free?
Yeah, all the vaccinations are free for everybody here. So we're following a strict timeline. I'm understanding that President-elect Biden is going to release all of the vaccines, which would mean that more people will be vaccinated and the timeline will move faster than it's moving now. Right now, we are vaccinating public safety, fire, police, healthcare workers. I think after today, we'll be vaccinating 65 and older and everybody else that has an underlying condition. So if you have a comorbidity, diabetes, heart disease, anything like that, they'll allow you to get vaccinated as well. So the timeline is moving, it's starting to move faster, and so people should be prepared. And so we're going to have we're going to move across the city, and we're going to twice a week, we're going to have it in each ward. And that's because we need specific personnel to people the place. We can't just open up a vaccination site without the right personnel inside.
So staying on the topic of vaccinations, you basically were saying that when Biden gets to office, the process could move faster. And eventually, I'm sure teachers and school administrators will be vaccinated.
Yes.
If this does happen before, the end of the school year, do you think this would encourage reopening of in-person learning? And if it does, how should parents feel about?
Sure. I mean, it'll encourage that as well. As long as we have to keep testing and you have to keep the vaccination, and I think that it will factor into whether schools open up earlier or not. The superintendent is paying close attention to that, I know. So I definitely think that it'll be open, and parents should be ready.
As you stated before, healthcare workers and first responders can now get the vaccine, right? What are you seeing? Are you seeing that first responders are lining up to get the vaccine, or are the majority of people like still unsure about whether or not they should get the vaccine?
People are still unsure, but the number is getting larger gradually. So more and more people are, as they watch other people take it, they're doing it. So more public safety personnel are signing up. More healthcare workers are signing up. And a lot of the seniors are really clamoring at getting it. So they've been waiting in line, and when we begin doing 65 and older, I think that number will jump pretty quickly. And a lot of people have the luxury to debate whether it works or not. Seniors who are watching their friends die, so rapidly, 4, 5, 6, 7 that they've known gone, they're nervous and they want some level of protection, and nobody's offering them anything. So they're going to probably line up to take this vaccination. And I always tell people, if you just measure how many people are dying from COVID-19 versus how many people died from the vaccine, right? 0 versus hundreds of thousands. So seniors look at that and they're going to line up.
There were currently two rounds of stimulus checks, right? So currently the second round is going out now to Newark residents and people around the country. So some may know or might not know, but the average Newark median income is about $37,000.
Mm-hmm.
So Newark has greatly benefited from these stimulus checks and the relief
Sure.
the financial relief that it has given to families. So there are talks of a third stimulus of $2,000 when Biden is finally, in office
Right.
as president. Do you think this third stimulus check should happen?
Absolutely. First of all, I believe that people should have a guaranteed income anyway. So that's beyond the stimulus checks. I believe that families should get a guaranteed amount of resources that allows them to at least buy food, milk, and bread and take care of their families and pay the rent and all this other kind of stuff so they won't be homeless. And so I think that money should happen in perpetuity. So I agree. And now we're not out of this. So it's still, some jobs have still not opened, right? There's still some things that still need to be done, and people need the resources today.
For those people who want more information on that second round stimulus payment, they can go to irs.gov and click on the Get My Payment tool, which is available in both English and Spanish, and that's the way that you can track your payment.
All right, Mayor, so we have time for one more question. On January 20th, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will be inaugurated into office. And with this switch of political power, how do you think that would benefit Newark and New Jersey in general?
Well, I think any shift from where we were going is a good shift. I mean, this has been probably a nightmare for all Americans, and particularly us. And then as you can see through in this pandemic, black and brown communities were hit hard, and all of the backlash and things that have been unearthed because of this. So I think that it gives us a sense of relief more than anything. I still think we have to organize and push and get these people to do what it is that we need them to do and be engaged and vigilant. But I think it gives us some room to fight by getting rid of this guy. I do believe Trump is going to be still dangerous. Right now he is become a demagogue, a symbol of right-wing, hatred and violence, and this idea that the election is not right. Wasn't won correctly. They're going to use that and try to lift him up no matter where he is. So I think we have to be organized and vigilant.
So I have a follow-up question for that. You're saying that he's become this symbol of the right wing, the Republican Party. Do you think what he's stood for during his time in office would taint the image of the Republican Party? Do you think that?
Sure. I think that there are going to be some Republicans that pull away from that. It's going to create a split in the party, definitely. But what I see is very dangerous on the horizon, because he has enough power at this point. Given him, they think he's thrown out of office. They tried this little coup. They tried to stop it, which is unprecedented. That his voice is going to carry more weight, and that he's not going to be restrained, and he wasn't that much restrained by the office, which means he's going to be able to say more and even do more than he was doing to be able to foster and evoke these kinds of negative ideas. Yep, and it's going to be dangerous. So we can't sit idly by and watch this stuff happen.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you everyone out there for watching.